Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. The biggest talk in town is the supplementary budget to the public offices that was tabled in Parliament. In that supplementary budget, the Deputy President's office has been allocated the lion's share of the Kenyan taxpayers' money. In fact, he has been allocated more than the president himself. And people are wondering what kind of game is going on. I want us to look at the table that has been shared there. And the title there says, Rigathi Gachagua's allocation beats President Ruto's in the 187 billion mini budget. And just look at it. What key offices got in terms of billions of shillings, and just down there it says Deputy President's office has been allocated 759 million more than the initial budget. If you scrutinize to the extreme left, it begins with what William Ruto was allocated before, and thereafter we have the initial money in terms of billions, and then supplementary. The initial is in black letter and the supplementary in yellow. So apparently William Ruto's office had 4.3 billion Kenyan shillings, and then the supplementary was 4 billion. And then Rigathi Gachagua initially had 3.5 billion, but in the supplementary he's been allocated 4.3 billion shillings. The office of the Chief Minister, Musalia Mudavadi, had 1.2. Now that he's been given more roles, he still maintained 1.2. But the other thing that people are talking about are the allocations to the offices of the First and Second Lady, Mama Rachel and Dorcas. Initially, First Lady's office was allocated 444 million. Their offices received helping in terms of millions and not billions. So apparently there was 444 million, and then the supplementary is now 593 million. But when you go to the Second Lady, initially it was 292. But in the supplementary budget, it has been increased to 717 million. Look at that. Many experts believe that William Ruto wanted to at least cool down the tempers because of late Rigathi Gachagua has been making a lot of noise that Ruto is trying to quote Musalia Mudavadi. And I think this kind of allocation has been made so that Rigathi Gachagua can stop the noises that he's been making. Number two, you all know that Rigathi Gachagua has now been given a chance to go and represent Ruto in many of the presidential errands, and even right now he's not in the country. But then, maybe I'm one person who does not understand. Do you really feel that the offices of the First and Second Lady should get money to the tune of millions of shillings? Do you think that the taxes that Kenyans pay should get their way into these offices to the tune of millions? I think, if you ask me, this is unacceptable, because Kenyans are living at very hard economic times, and we should be cutting down the budget in those big offices. I don't understand why the president, the deputy, the chief minister there, and to a large extension their spouses should get this kind of large amount of money. What for? This is what breeds corruption. Because if you ask me, what do they do? These are the monies that are used to organize for prayer rallies every Sunday. These are the monies that are used to organize for security and to allocate to some of the pastors when they want to buy the M-Pesa clergy. And if you add them more, I can assure you that you are piling more burden to taxpayers. You know, this is coming at a time when William Ruto, while in Kilifi, that was Voi, he promised that he understands the pain that Kenyans are going through, and he promised that he was going to cut down the traveling allocation, the traveling allowances and budget, only to sneak out very early in the morning to go to Congo. And when he promises that he feels the economic pain that is on the shoulders of Kenyans, it is not only in the traveling allowances, because he said he would do that to the judiciary, he would do the same to parliamentarians, and he promised that he had tabled a bill in parliament that will be scrutinized by parliamentarians and be passed. But then I feel this is a fallacy, because you cannot be stealing from the left pocket to the right pocket. And this just shows that William Ruto only talks, as we have always said, he knows what is music to the ears. Because let me tell you, when he was saying in Voi that he has tabled a bill in parliament to ensure that he reduces traveling allowances and budgets of these offices, number one, he knows very well that the members of parliament will not. Do you think the members of parliament can debate and pass a bill that will be reducing their traveling allocation? They cannot. And so William Ruto wants to appear as if he is this angel, so that when this bill is shut down, then he will tell Kenyans that, you see, I really wanted to alleviate the burden on your shoulders, but it is the parliamentarians. Knowing very well that if he instructs the members of the UDA to pass that bill because they control parliament, they will do it very early in the morning, just the same way they did with the finance bill 2023. So to see such allocations, I feel it is adding more burden. And the first lady and the second lady, really, even in the constitution, I don't think they have much to do, because they have some initiatives here. Madam Rachel and Mama Dorcas have got their initiatives, and I think Mama Dorcas is saying that she wants to promote the boy child, which is not really bad. But must we be using such amount of money when the cost of living is just too high? The cost of paying even for school fees is high. I think William Ruto should be very careful. And what is the role of David D? Because he seems to be tweeting so much that he does not give advice to this government. And if at all is giving the advices, then those pieces of advices are not being taken seriously. We are really living at a very precarious economic times, and we should look into these allocations, reduce them instead of adding them more. The game plan that has been there is that William Ruto is telling us that they disagree with Rigathi Gachagua. He's telling Rigathi Gachagua to stop talking about shareholders. But we look at what is happening. Rigathi Gachagua has been allocated more money because he's a shareholder in this government. He's the one who made William Ruto the president. And I think we should look at this with a fine-tooth comb and realize that something is going on here. So ladies and gentlemen, that is how your money is being used, being allocated to those offices. I don't know what you think, but if you ask me, we are burdening Kenyans for nothing.